supposed to come to see us.
Good to go. Okay. All right. Good evening. Welcome to the February 2026 Design Review Committee meeting. My name is Lauren Ferris. I'm the Historic Preservation Program Supervisor, and with me is Mr. John McNair, Historic Preservation Specialist. Now I'm just going to call the roll to confirm that our DRC members are present. Robert Dudka.
Here.
Andrew Wenchel.
Here.
We are waiting on Omari Davis, who will be joining us hopefully shortly. There, John, you go right ahead.
DRC meetings are held in person and streamed simultaneously to allow commissioners, applicants, and the public to attend online. For applicants and others joining us this evening, if you lose internet connectivity during the meeting, please reconnect with us via the dial-in phone option. Please keep your devices muted and your video turned off until your item is under review. When called upon to speak, you must unmute yourself by clicking the microphone icon that is located on the meeting command bar at the top of the window. We do not have the ability to unmute you. If you are dialing in by phone, press *6 to unmute. The meeting chat is active for participants who need technical assistance and should not be used for questions. The public may observe the meetings, but participation in the discussion is limited to applicants and members of the HALRB during this meeting. Public comment is welcome at the HALRB meeting, and information about signing up as a speaker or submitting a public comment for that meeting is available on the HALRB website. Lastly, this is a public forum. Today's meeting will be recorded and posted to the county website and the county's commission meetings YouTube page. Avoid sharing any personal information that you would not like to be made public. All information associated with today's meeting, whether written or spoken, is subject to Freedom of Information Act requirements.
All right, with that, we are ready to go to, we were hoping that we would get into COA 2601 for Buckingham, but I do not see that applicant online or here. That is for the John's Joint Restaurant. So if that is okay, we could jump to the next item, which is for COA 2603, 2343 North Fillmore Street in Maywood. And here we have the project team with us. Thank you. Please reintroduce yourself to everyone.
Certainly. Eric Hurt, Hill and Hurt Architects.
Jesse Gilgan, Hill and Hurt Architects.
Thank you for joining us. So I'm going to pull up the project materials that was submitted. And you all are familiar with this because they came in January for a preliminary review. Just as a reminder, this is a Queen Anne style property built prior to 1923 and is contributing to the Maywood local historic district. And I'm just going to scroll through the materials, and then the project team, please, if you can go into more detail about everything. Just see if I can up a little bit. Okay. Some of the floor plans. And then we have roof plan, we have the existing, and then the proposed, existing and the proposed, and then we have some photos of the project, and the project team did some wonderful 3D renderings that we love. Thank you very much for doing that. That gives a very good idea of what's going on the project, and then some more detailed specifications. So with that, I've given the DRC the summary that you all provided with some of the changes from the preliminary review recommendations. So please feel free to go into any details that you would like, and I'm happy to scroll through this.
Sure. Well, if there are any specific questions that the DRC has, we're happy to answer those. Primarily, the work that we're looking at is the same as what we presented in January. The one caveat to that is really the two dormers that are now on the front of the house. So when we met earlier, we had sort of inset dormers at the front of the house where,
Right.
They were smaller in size and they were inset into the roof, and there was some concern that the inset condition might be a little bit odd looking, which is what generated the request for a 3D view taken from that street angle. In revisiting that, we also had conversations with the homeowners, and because of their interest in preserving as much floor space as possible, it's a pretty small bedroom. We, instead of insetting the dormers, we now have dormers that are added to the roof. Also allows us to get egress compliant windows in that front bedroom, which it currently doesn't have. The other additions are all in the back of the house. One of the things that was a point of discussion last time was that there are existing additions to the house as well. That's what in the before and after, or the existing and proposed elevations. In the existing elevations, we've shaded that portion of the house, which is an addition to the original. And then in the proposed, we've shaded the proposed additions that we are proposing.
So let's take a look at that.
Scrolling issues. I apologize. This mouse is nice and sensitive. I'm happy to jump in just to a couple of questions. And
Sure.
you may have heard a little bit when you all were coming in. I just wanted to confirm some stuff with the windows. And Robert Edgo was giving me a nice little education on exactly what simulated divided lights are, because I had concern that maybe the simulated divided lights that are being proposed would be the type where it's like insulated glass and then it's just the kind of like the
Oh, the buttons in the
buttons
middle.
inside. And
Right.
No, like
No, yeah,
where it's just
yeah,
glued on.
Yeah.
Right. It does have the spacer bar. In
yes, correct. We have the spacer, what we've specified are the spacer bars, integral spacer bar, buttons on both sides of the glass.
Right.
And one of the other conversations we had last time was that the windows should be wood, exterior wood, which they are as well.
Okay. And then, oh, go ahead.
I think the question that I did have was on the rear. Can you clarify again
Yes,
the type of windows that are going to be on the back?
sure. On the back elevation, yeah, right there. So those are casement windows.
Okay.
So that we can comply with egress once again.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Those are my big questions.
And then in terms of the material, so the materials on the back is what is the siding?
Shingle.
Shingle, okay.
Yes.
Is it's like shingle, like real shingle, or is it like the whatever the hardy shingle stuff is?
I mean, this is kind of a question for, I guess, for the review committee. We've used and can use the actual shingle. It's pre-primed and then it's painted on site. We've also used hardy in different conditions, but it sort of depends on what's deemed allowable. I mean, hardy is obviously easier for the homeowner for the long run, but the shingles have a lot of longevity.
Right,
My own
yeah.
house, so
Yeah, I have ones that were put
100
on.
years old.
Well, yeah, I have 100-year-old ones, but I also have 30-year-old ones that have, if you do it right,
Right.
and you do a like an
Yeah.
opaque stain.
Right, an opaque stain
You
or
don't need to.
paint.
I haven't painted them
Right,
since
Yeah.
since they were put up 30 years ago.
yeah,
And they still look great.
Yeah.
And then the roof is asphalt shingle.
yes.
So so and then the existing is what? Is that shingle?
Existing roof is,
No, I mean the
Oh, I'm
existing
sorry.
siding.
the existing siding on the first floor is a narrow.
Oh, it's that.
Yeah, it's that, I think it's a German code.
Okay,
And then in the dormers is shingles.
right. Because I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I really don't like hardy shingles. I mean, I don't mind the hardy planks so much, but the hardy shingles are really thin and it almost looks like paint, it's like,
Right.
there's no shadow line.
Yeah.
So I think I would personally prefer if it was real shingles on the addition. And since the front of the house is that, is that narrow clapboard, then you're distinguishing the new from the old. So that works. Does that work for you guys? Or-
I think I think what we had, well, not think, I know that what we had put in the drawings was the actual cedar shingle.
Right.
um,
Okay. Yeah, which is good.
Specifications.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I think that, I appreciate what you've done, but in view of the snow we've had the past week or so, and all of that, we're likely to get that in the future as well. And it seems like windows are very close to the roof, so you're gonna have, if you have that on the front, you're gonna have, I know your egress requirements and whatever, but if you can somehow or other drop a piece there, otherwise you're gonna get moisture coming.
Well, we would have a sub-sill certainly, and then it would need to be properly
Yeah,
flattened under. You're absolutely
that's really not our concern. That's
right.
your concern. I mean,
Well, I appreciate it, but I think that it's going to,
I know,
you can do it, but it's gonna leak.
well, but that's his job. That's not our job. We review historic preservation. And in the past, they used to do, my house has very low. I have a deck that, because of very tight constraints, is literally 2 inches below
Right.
my floors, and you just make sure you keep the snow cleared.
Yeah.
People need to know, but it's not really our issue. I mean, it's fine to point it out, but
Right.
But I assume you're aware of that.
Yes. Of course.
That's an issue. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think I don't know if you Amari, you walked in.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that they've now changed the inset dormers to pop out, to normal regular dormers.
Right.
So, and bring up the 3D, yeah, so they can see. So that's, and can you make it bigger?
I can't, but you're gonna have to bear with me, please.
Okay,
Move this.
we got nothing but time.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, so that's what it looks like now.
Okay.
Yeah, and Andy, to address your concern, if they were to raise that, then either there'd be no window left, or
Right.
they'd have to raise the whole dormer, and then we're back to having the dormer touching the ridge of the roof, which we don't like.
Trying not to do
We
exactly.
had a lot of problems with another project recently.
My suggestion was really to drop
Oh, you mean you want to put a little scoop?
a little scoop.
Well,
I think that's much better way of handling the
Right. I mean, if you wanted to do that, I don't think we would have a problem with that. If you
Okay.
felt like you needed to do that for technical
Additional.
reasons, yeah. I mean, that I think is, yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think we can all see what it would look like. It would just be a smaller version of what's on the front.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It does make the roofing more complicated, which is, the counter to that is that now you got more flashing and actually you have a flat surface now that unless you really put like 8 inches, you
Right.
really scoop it down a lot, you have the danger of now building snow up.
Right. I mean, one of the benefits, I think, of pulling the dormers out actually is that we can take more advantage of the existing
Slope of the
slope of the roof.
Right.
It does have a nice pitch to it.
Right.
Whereas the inset dormers, like you said, I mean, that existing front inset dormer has quite a large sheet of flashing that
Right.
another issue to contend with under conditions like
But
this.
I think from our point of view, if you wanted to do, a little,
A shallow scoop, just
a little scoop, we would be okay with it. But if I'm personally okay with the way that looks, I mean, as soon as, just.
Right.
Make sure the homeowner is aware, but, so other than that, Andy, do you have any other issues with anything?
Well, that's, I didn't get a chance to see it actually. Where that's going. I'm comfortable with the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And Amari, you're.
Yeah, I think, no, I think it's also nice, I think too, I'll have sort of the siding in the front and also that, shingle on the back of this.
Yeah. Can we look at the photograph that's just above that? Yeah, I just want to see, to imagine. So right now there's skylights.
Right.
There.
Oh, okay.
So if you can start to imagine I think, given that the dormer is not going to hit the ridge, you know, you can kind of imagine what it would look like, you know, as, you know, even in the photograph. And I think that would be appropriate. So I'm good with this. I think it looks really good, actually.
What's the chimney wrapped in now, or what's?
The chimney was one of the additions. It's not original to the house, and it's sided.
Oh, it is set. Okay.
And that's just staying.
That's just staying.
Right. Okay.
So, so remind me again, the material that's gonna be on the dormer is
Shingle,
cedar?
the cedar shingle.
Cedar shingle. And then on the, other, like the rear second story addition,
The same.
the same. Okay, I just want to make sure. Good to be
Right.
writing it. Detailed stuff.
Right.
Okay, so, and so now in terms of materials, so we've talked about the siding, we've talked about, so the roofing it's gonna be asphalt shingle to match basically the front?
Well, the
Similar.
intention is to re-roof.
Oh, you're gonna do
Re-shingle
whole
the
thing.
house. It's quite there's existing asphalt shingle roofing, which is pretty old.
Okay, so it'll all, it'll,
All match. Exactly.
Okay.
So it just needs to be a rectangular shape.
Right.
and,
And we included that information on.
and we've talked about the windows. They're gonna be simulated divided light in wood.
Painted wood with the,
Okay,
There are no exterior doors.
no,
No.
all the additions are on the second floor. The changes are on the second.
I think it looks really good. So do we do consent?
Yeah.
There you go.
Here.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So,
Okay.
so what I'll do is tomorrow I'll just send just a summary of this. Consent agenda means that we'll be on for the HLRB meeting on February 17th. And, you know, there'll be a moment where we'll approve the consent agenda and we'll let you know, verbally that you are good and you can go, and we'll give you all of the approved sheets after that meeting. But if there's any public comment, or if an HLRB member has some questions, that would pull it from the consent and will be added to the discussion agenda. So do be prepared to kind of be ready for any questions.
Sure.
I'll have the staff report already, even if it's on the consent agenda. So just be mentally prepared, just in
Okay.
case.
And I don't know, you know, just to make it, I don't know, if you need to be, if you can just do it online, you know, because it's,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay,
do it
great.
virtually so you don't have to come in and,
Okay.
you know, because if it's voted on the consent agenda, it'll literally take 5 minutes and then you'll come in for that and it's
Right.
probably not worth it to you or your client. So, yeah, so I mean, I think you can do it virtually, but be available for questions in case somebody does
Right.
have some issues, which I don't think they will. I mean, it looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, and if it did get pulled to go on the discussion agenda, I do a presentation. The DRC gets a summary of what their perspective was on the project. So there'll be plenty of time to kind of go into detail if that was to happen.
Okay, great. Great. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Looks nice.
Thank you so much. Have a nice evening.
Thank you. All right, so, our next item, I'm not sure if anyone's joined virtually. They said they might not be able to come until 6:55. Because they weren't supposed to be heard until 7.
So what is the, well, you can present it.
I'm happy to do that. So, so let's just go ahead and jump into it then. So this property you all will be familiar with. This is at 3412 21st Avenue North in Maywood. This is Jamie Jackson is the owner. And this was, this property, you all saw a project that was for that she shed, that accessory, building that got with a setback that was at the rear of the property that got approved back in May 2020 or June 2024. That is not, this project is not that. They are doing a renovation in their basement. Here, I'll show you the house. It's this one right here. They're doing a renovation in their basement and there is a window. You're gonna see, okay, I will not strain your guys' eyes, but there is a arrow right here. Let's see if I can move this back. I'm pointing where it's going to be. But they're requesting, there's a little window down here, right in this little niche that goes into the basement. Again, you still can't see it. Can you see it yet? There you go.
There we go.
That is the window. They want to make that an egress window. So, that is, you know, it's kind of in the front, it's like right there, but it's also tucked away. Now, there is vegetation that's kind of covering that window right now, but of course, it's gonna have to go away. They give us some idea of what the egress window would look like.
So they're just proposing this now. This is not,
Yes,
this is preliminary.
they're proposing it now. This is not preliminary. They're proposing it.
Oh, okay.
So, so look, some of the questions when they join us, hopefully in 3 minutes, is, so these are some, ideas of what this is gonna look like. We all know what egress. But, so
And
here,
these are all examples in Arlington?
well, these are good. You're asking some good questions, Robert. I'm not sure
Because this is, I
where.
know you're gonna answer the question. I'm
they do give-
anticipating.
They do
I'm
give.
gonna let you ask it.
They do give a breakdown a little bit of some of the dimensions, but some of the questions that I have with this one is, first off, they say there's gonna be a guardrail. I want to understand where that's gonna be. And then not only that, they say the width is 12 inches, but they don't tell us the depth. I think
It'd be
it's,
more than 12 inches.
it's got, doesn't it?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
It'd be like
need-
3 feet.
Yeah, it's gotta be 3 per the.
Well,
Yeah.
so yes,
Yeah.
that's why I have questions on the dimensions of what it's going to be. And then they show us a window that they're proposing. This is interior, this is exterior, but they don't say what the material is. Oh, is some, okay.
And just out of, I'm just looking at it. Have they verified that that window meets egress requirements? Because it looks a little small. to
Well,
me.
they say it's 33 by 47, so I don't know.
If it was a casement, it might work, but if it's a double hung, you know, there's a minimum required clear area.
Right.
And a double hung doesn't actually open the whole
No,
thing.
Right.
And so the manufacturers all have a actual clear opening that is the legal clear opening. And if that isn't big enough to meet the code, it won't qualify.
Well,
And what we don't want is for them to come back and, put it in and then we start all over again. So
no, I hear you.
they need to, I mean,
Yeah.
Well, I think, Jamie, are you online right now?
Hi, yes, I am.
Hi, Jamie. Thanks for joining. I know that we started a couple minutes early. I was just kind of going over the plans that you gave us. So thanks for being here. We understand that this is a request for an egress window kind of in this little niche area of the house that fronts 21st Avenue. We have some questions.
Sure.
All right. So, so one of the questions that I have is, do you have the dimensions of what the egress, like the well is going to be? Because the specs that you gave didn't give us that detail. So I would like to know what the width and the depth is. Do you know what that is?
Oh, gosh, I don't know off the top of my head. I can go back and try and quickly look through the contractor's emails about the dimensions. So the dimensions of the actual window well.
Yeah. And there also seems to be a guardrail. I'm trying to get an understanding exactly where the guardrail is going to be.
Okay.
And we were just talking about the dimensions of the window. Looks kind of small. And we don't know if that, like, you all need to confirm that that window, if it's a double hung, if it will meet the requirements for the type of window that needs to go in this well. So do you know if they've confirmed that?
I believe they have. I'm not sure why he would recommend an egress window
Well,
to us without it meeting code, but crazier things have happened.
yes, they have. So,
I mean, it might, it looks close, but it just, I mean, I haven't done this in a while, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
it looks a little small to me, but but maybe they just put a bigger window. I mean, not wider, but just taller. If the well goes down deep enough, they might be able to put a deeper.
and the fun thing is the Maywood design guidelines don't give any specifications on these types of windows. And so I will be happy to admit that I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I
if it
think
should be-
if it's, I mean, it's essentially a window being added to an existing historic structure.
So we would need it to be a wood window,
It'd have
right?
to be a wood window, yeah, and And
There's already a tiny, very tiny window there. I don't know if you can see it in the photos.
Yeah.
The small, yes, super, super small. Do you know what the
Yeah.
material of that window is?
I don't believe it's wood, but I'm not sure the material.
Okay, so I think we need that detail and which
The
is,
material of the existing window?
no, sorry. Well, we will need to know if the specifications of the window meets the requirements or it being an egress window, and then I'd like to confirm the dimensions of the well, which we don't really have. And then has the contractor said anything about there being like a guardrail over here? Do you know if that's
well,
what's being proposed?
I don't recall. No, I don't think we're proposing a guardrail.
Okay, because in the specs that you provided, it shows that. So if it's not, then we would just need that to be like crossed out.
you with that?
Okay.
I think that it needs to be verified. It's of course gonna have to go through building permit to do this,
Yep.
but I certainly don't think we could put this on the consent agenda.
Sorry,
Unless,
I can't hear what you're saying, sir.
I don't think we can put this on the consent agenda unless you can assure us that that the window actually meets the egress requirements for.
I mean, I'm confident that they do. I mean, that's the reason we haven't started construction yet, because we needed to do an egress window and get your permission. So I don't know why it wouldn't. I mean, I told him that we wanted the absolute minimum amount of our house, the exterior disturbed for this project. So maybe I assume he just chose the smallest possible window that'll meet the criteria.
Can I ask a question? Has this been reviewed? You know, you can do a review with the building department, before you do anything, so that because what we don't want to have happen is, we say, okay, this is, you can do this, then they go file a permit, and then the building department says, oh no, you need a bigger window, the well needs to be bigger, you need a guardrail like this, and then you have to come back to us anyway. It'll make it faster and easier for everybody if this was reviewed, just a preliminary review with the building department, so that they say, yep, that window meets it. The well needs to be a minimum of this size. You're going to need a guardrail with a ladder configuration, kind of like they're showing, and then I assume some sort of a gate, so you can open the guardrail and get out. But make sure that the building department is okay with it. I think from our point of view, the concept of it is fine. I think it's a very good location. It's kind of hidden behind the steps.
Yeah, it's pretty hidden. It's about as hidden as it gets.
Really concealed. You'll never see it. And if you did a black metal rail, it would pretty much disappear. So I mean, I think conceptually, I think we don't have any problems with it. We just want to make sure you don't have to come back to us because the building department isn't happy. Did we lose everybody? No. So that we don't go through this twice.
Yeah.
I really don't think what I could see, that's not going to be
Well, what if we did?
needed. So I certainly don't think this goes in the consent.
Oh, no, it's not ready yet, but.
Well, the only thing I could say is, Janie, when we have some questions about things, you have about a week before I then post this. So if you were to tell me by the end of next Tuesday, if you were able to confirm that the measurements of the well, the measurements of the window, they meet the requirements,
Mhm.
and so that the HLB doesn't approve it, and then you have to come back. So if you can confirm that there needs to be a guardrail. I need the dimensions of what that guardrail is. What is the material of the guardrail? It's metal, it's gonna be painted black, and then the window has to be a wood window.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things I'll need you to confirm. And my thought is, if you confirm that, staff sees it, documented and confirmed, then maybe it could be put on the consent.
Yeah,
agenda.
I'm okay with that if we have
Yep.
all of those things, because we can all take a quick look at it. You know, as soon as you get it on
Yep.
Tuesday or whenever, just
Yep.
Yeah.
email it to us and we can take a look and say, yeah, that's fine, because this is pretty simple and, but I'm pretty sure, I mean, you're gonna need a guardrail, because if a gardener is working around the shrubs or something and then they fall into it, that's not good. So I'm pretty sure the county's gonna require a guardrail.
Yeah.
And then,
you
which
may need
means-
a guardrail, but you'll need some sort of like covering on top, because my brother-in-law, he has one, but it's more like a flat.
Oh, so it's like a
flat
gate.
grate essentially.
Yes, yeah, that would be fine too.
Yeah, you kind of just open the
But we need to know what it is.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Could be something, right?
Is there a preference, or does that not matter to you guys if it's a guardrail or something that's flat on the structure to
So
prevent
still
from
that
falling in?
air, either way, I think it'd be fine. Andy, do you have a thought?
No, I think for the board, as well, it'd be good to take this to the board. Just because I think it would be good. I don't recall that we've actually done one of these with the board that I recollect. That
We
doesn't
have-
mean just
Yeah,
because.
we have done them though.
I think we. I
We
don't,
we did them at, I forget which of the garden apartments.
we've done them at the Barcroft Apartments, and then we do a lot for new construction. So, for example, we did one for 3205 23rd Street North.
okay,
So we have done that. That was back in 2021. But we have approved these, and there's usually not.
I'm not saying I'm opposed to it. I think that I'm just from the appearance, I'm really questioning this whole thing. So
Well, that's why.
I would like to be assured that this meets the code, because otherwise we're wasting.
Right, that's
No, and that's what we're saying. We're saying that.
that's what she's saying. That it won't go on to consent unless there is a statement from, that it's been reviewed by the building department, that the window size is adequate, that either a grate or a rail has been incorporated into this, the size of, we need to know the size of the well. So that we know what it is that we're approving, and then we need to know the nature of like that guardrail there, which is, it looks like it's just a
Yeah,
simple.
it just says it's a steel ballast.
We've
That's fine.
approved those in many places, and usually, given landscaping, they just disappear, you don't even see it.
Yeah.
And so if we can be assured of all of those things, I mean, I don't see why the board needs to discuss this. It's actually borderline something that staff could do, if there were, in fact, someday there may be guidelines that allow you to review something like this, but I just don't see why the board would take this up. I think it could be on consent if we can get all of those answers.
If we don't get it confirmed, then Jamie has the option to have it go on the full discussion agenda, or Jamie, you could come back to the DRC with all that information in March. You can then go on the consent agenda. I don't know what you would do that, but there's options.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely prefer to try and gather all the facts that you guys need and, have it to you by next Tuesday.
And Lauren, I don't like the idea, I like the idea that we could put this on consent if we get the answers to these things, but I don't like the option of, if they don't have the answers, then it goes on discussion. I think it comes back to DRC.
Yeah.
Because we typically wouldn't go forward to the board if there wasn't a recommendation
Okay.
from DRC. So they'd have to come back the following.
So Jamie, is that, sorry, we're going a little bit back and forth, but I want to make sure it's clear. And also I like to say things out loud, so I can make sure it's clear for me. You'll have a week to kind of get those questions. I'm happy to give you a summary of what those were tomorrow.
Okay.
Email. And you'll have a week to try and pull that. And then I can share that with the DRC real quick. So the sooner you get that to me, the better. That way you all can feel reassured, DRC members, that it's what you were looking for. If that's the case, then it will go on the consent agenda. If you're not able to get that to us, it's not going to go on the discussion. You'll have to come back to DRC in March.
Okay, that's fair.
And last question, I wanted to just kind of make sure the photos that you provided of these examples,
Mhm.
are these examples in Arlington? Are these examples that your contractor has done? Can you give
These are examples the contractor has done of, I believe it's like stucco covered concrete window wells, which is what I had read was something that Maywood liked for window wells.
Right, and I think what we wouldn't want to see is what's on the screen right now, which is that sort of faux stone interior. If it's just, and also the rounded corners, but if it's not, if it's a rectangular, like there's another one. Yeah, that one. If it's like that, with stucco sides and, and it could be stone, or it could just be, like it just could be, carving on the top of the wall, would be fine. And then either the metal rail or the metal grate would be fine. And we just, and if it's to that specification, and then we have confirmation about the window, the suitability of the window and the size of the, I'm assuming you want to make the well as small as possible also. So, so I think we're both on the same wavelength there. So I think if you can get the answers to all those things, we wouldn't have any problems with this. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
So from there, then, Jamie, I will send you an email tomorrow with these details, just kind of for confirmation. And the sooner you get me that information, the better. That way I can confirm it and then share it with the DRC so that we can then lock it in if you are going to be added to the consent agenda or not. And if it is on the consent agenda, let's just say that all works out, we would still need you to come virtually at least to the meeting. The HLRB, if no one has a public comment or the HLRB doesn't pull it for discussion, then a vote is taken and it will then be approved. I would say verbally it's been approved, and then you can go on for whatever you're going to do that evening.
Okay, great.
Cool, then there could be a discussion. We would be able to go into details about this, but I would be surprised if that happens. So, so I think that's it for this one.
Okay. Well, I
Great.
appreciate your time, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jamie.
Bye-bye.
All
Take
right.
care.
Okay, so then we have a no-show with first item. We have on the consent agenda the addition of the other Maywood property, and then kind of a conditional consent agenda for Jamie Jackson's. And last, I just want to make sure I don't skip anything because I have all these lovely discussions items. Okay. Any questions?
No,
We're good.
All right,
yeah.
then meeting's adjourned.
Are we stopping the recording?
I'm gonna stop it right now, once I get connected, and let me go ahead. This, stop recording.